Some new information tonight about how many people are homeless in Multnomah County and how that has increased since last year. The county just published a data dashboard that paints a much more accurate picture of the homeless crisis than the tools we had been relying on before. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us for KT News at 4. I'm Deborah Knapp.
And I'm Mike Aswa. The data shows a 26% increase in homelessness since last year. There are nearly 15,000 homeless people living in the county as of February. KT's Christina Giardinelli is here now to talk about this increase. Christina, the dashboard also shows why we are seeing an increase.
Yeah, I think it's something a lot of people want to know because millions of taxpayer dollars are spent trying to solve this problem. So why is it growing? The dashboard suggests this here is the problem. The green line in the graph shows how many people are becoming homeless, and the orange line here shows how many are moving from homelessness to housing. It shows that even though there's been progress in housing, it can't keep up with the number of people becoming homeless. A new dashboard promises to deliver monthly updates to the public on the homeless crisis in Multnomah County. County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson saying it will help decide how your tax dollars are spent.
Starting today, we have a new baseline of information available to help us measure our work, and that is a very important milestone.
The milestone, though, comes with a grim reality check. Anna Plumb, Deputy Director of the county's Homeless Services Department, noting it tracks a huge spike in homelessness.
There has been an increase on our by name list of folks experiencing homelessness of about 2,900 people. That's a 26% increase in the number of people.
She says some of this can be attributed to a more accurate data collection system, which provides a more true to reality picture of the homeless crisis than the county has previously had.
It is a deduplicated list of people that we can identify by name to better understand who is experiencing homelessness in our community.
The list is built by names and information collected every time a homeless person accesses any county-supported homeless service. That includes when they talk to an outreach worker, receive supplies, collect mail, or stay at a shelter. For the first time, the data also shows how much of a dent your tax dollars are actually making in solving the crisis.
Everyone now knows who is entering and leaving the system.
This piece of information right here may help explain why so many tax dollars are spent on the crisis, but every night, thousands sleep on the street.
What we see is that people are entering homelessness faster than we can return them to housing.
That's stark reality represented in this graph, the blue line showing people becoming homeless, the orange line showing people getting housed. Now, coming up at 5, I'll show you an interesting link I discovered between this data here and the number of evictions filed month to month in Multnomah County. For now at the live desk, Christina Giardinelli, KT News.
Christina, thank you. KT's on your side tracking how cities, counties, and metros spend money on homelessness.
There are some proposed changes to the Tri-County tax for supportive housing services. KT's Steve Dunn is at the live desk to explain what that tax is and how it could be changing. Steve?
Hey, you guys, people across Multnomah, Washington, and Clackamas counties are paying the supportive housing tax again this year. Voters approved the fund in May of 2020. It helps pay for services like rent assistance and eviction protection. It's a personal income tax for people who make more than $125,000 or couples who make $200,000. Businesses with income above $5 million are also taxed. Now, this tax went into effect in 2021. The goal was to raise $250 million every year for the Tri-County region. In the beginning, it raised more than expected. This year, it's below the forecast, but there's concern about the future.
But at a time when the cost of delivering services is increasing at a rapid rate and your revenues are decreasing, that delta really is meaningful. How you go about doing that, I think we'll hear.
Another issue here, Multnomah County receives less than half of the tax revenue, but they have more than 80% of the homeless population in the metro area. Now, as it stands right now, the tax is set to expire in 2030. It was billed as a 10-year plan. Now, Metro might ask voters to extend that timeline. The Metro Council wants to make it a 20-year plan. They also want to adjust the income threshold to keep up with inflation. The new proposal would also allow Multnomah County to use the money to buy properties to build housing instead of just funding services. While some commissioners support these changes, others have told K2 they don't want to mess with the current system. Of course, we'll continue to track this proposal Back to you guys.
Steve, thanks for that. We know stories about homeless funding can be confusing. K2 is always on your side, going through the data, listening to the meetings, and holding our elected officials accountable for how they're spending your tax dollars. Stay with us for K2 News at 5 as Christina brings us that side-by-side comparison